Hi everyone, this is Julie Allball, editor of Wedding Market News, and this is Wedding Market Live, and I'm here today with Larissa Banting, who is going to talk about bots. Now, some of you may be wondering, what is a bot? Well, stay tuned because Larissa is going to tell us here in just a few minutes. Well, hi Larissa, how are you today?
I'm great. Thanks for having me on today, Julie.
Yes, now, what is your background in the wedding industry?
Well, I have 15 years as a wedding planner and designer. I own Weddings Costa Rica, which is the largest wedding planning firm in Costa Rica and one of the first. And I've been named to the A-list top 30 destination wedding planners in the world by Destination Weddings and Honeymoons magazine. I've planned over 500 weddings for couples from literally every corner of the earth. I also have a blog called The Lazy Bride, and I have a number of different products, to help lazy brides realize the wedding of their dreams with as little effort and sweat as possible. I'm also my background is in marketing and public relations, so that's who I am in a nutshell.
Okay. Well, I'm sure everybody's wondering, what is a bot?
Okay, well, yeah, it is very new technology. I like to tell people, think about when email first came out or when Facebook first came out. It's like this new technology, but it's pretty powerful. So if you've got Messenger with your Facebook, that is where we put the bot. All right. So basically, a bot is artificial intelligence that behaves like a human. It's like a ping pong match. You say something or you write something into the bot, and then the bot would respond. And then the user would respond, and then the bot responds. So you, as the programmer, would put in all the different variables or how you want to have the conversation possibly flow, anticipating what the answers would be from your user and be able to provide them with different information.
Larissa will be answering your questions, so place them in the comments and she will answer them here live. I understand that there is differences in the types of conversations that these bots will start. Now, some are scripted and maybe some are unscripted. How does that work?
Okay, well, it really depends on the level of the programming. There is like a scripted bot would be, say I get into someone's bot and they're like, hi Larissa, welcome to the Busy Bot. Would you like to learn some information about what a bot is? And then you have the, either yes or no. So if you click yes, then it'll be like, great, a chat bot is blah, blah, blah. Here's a link to an article or to a blog post or a PDF to learn more. So it's a scripted, like there's not the bot's not thinking, it's already been programmed. Now, where the unscripted, that's where you start getting into artificial intelligence, but on a whole other level. And with those bots, they actually start to kind of think for themselves. So based on the more answers they give and the more conversations they have, then they actually start to go off on their own path because they're learning, like almost like a child would learn. So it's but that's far more advanced.
So how would a wedding professional benefit from using these bots?
There's so many ways. There's so many ways, Julie. The thing right now is that, we're looking at open rates with the bot of about 90 to 100%. So, when I send out a message to my subscribers, when they get it in their messenger, they're opening it. Like every single one of them is opening the message. Meanwhile, email is only getting about a 22% open rate. So people are getting a lot of email fatigue. So say if you have a subscriber list and you want to send them out, an offering or some information, if you're sending it to your email list, a good portion of them are not opening it. They're never reading it. If you have a Facebook group, the change of algorithm right now, they're saying about maybe 3% of your fans will actually see your post. The thing with the bot is that there is no algorithm. There's no spam filter. It's literally whatever you broadcast out or send out goes directly to your subscribers. There's no friction in between. So as a wedding professional, this has a whole range of implications, how you can integrate it into your marketing. This is a marketing tool, just like your Facebook group or your email or calling on Skype or whatever. So one way that I like to use it is, through my blog. I get people, you can have for them to actually subscribe into the bot right away, just like you would for email. And once they're into my bot, then I have a sequence that I put them through. For example, with my Lazy Bride brand, I have a sequence for 5 days. They get a different tip. Like, oh, hey, today, here's a tip on how to save money on the bar. And, the next day is like, oh, you can use the flavors of shrimp and crab and lobster in your hors d'oeuvres instead of your main courses. So you get the caviar taste on the beer budget. So that can help your bottom line with your budget. So, every day is a different tip. And at the end of those 5 days, I'm like, hey, if you enjoyed these tips, I have this product, this ebook for $19 that's got 130 more of them. So by walking them through the sequence, they've seen what I'm offering, and then they can purchase. If you're a brick and mortar store, like say maybe you're a florist or you're a wedding gown store, you can have coupons or VIP nights. Perhaps you want to have a trunk show. So people who are on your bot, you can send them a VIP invite and say, hey, this is just for our special clients. Come on in. If you're a florist, you could do the same sort of idea that with the tips. Perhaps you can have, every day over the sequence of 5 days or over, a month, focus on a different flower. Today we're talking nasturtiums, and this is what they look like or whatever. If you're, say, a vendor that maybe you sell spirits, you've got clients like brides and grooms who might be purchasing bulk alcohol or wine from you. You could maybe offer them to come in and do a free tasting, or a coupon that if they buy, a case of wine, that you're going to throw in an extra bottle of champagne for free, type of thing. So, you can do coupons, you can do special offers. You can use it like email, but much more succinct. And, there's a higher, like people are going to open it and act upon it. You can include a download of a PDF. So if you have an information sheet that you want to hand out to people, you can do short videos too. You can load up to, I think it's 25 megabytes of a video. And, or if you have a longer video, then you can just do a link to like YouTube or whatever. And you can also have fun with it. It's a way, they say that nowadays people need 7 to 10 touch points with your brand before they're willing to purchase. So, and that's where it's kind of getting tricky, because if people aren't opening their emails, and if they're not seeing all of your posts on Facebook, and Twitter, Twitter has a 24-minute life cycle. We're not even talking about Snapchat, because that's like literally gone in a couple of minutes. So it's like getting trickier and trickier. How do you get those touch points out to people? And this is the beauty of the bot, because as soon as they hear that ping, they're seeing it, right? So you can offer these potential clients and customers value. And then by the time they've seen you 7 or 10 times and you're making the offer, they're ready. Like they've already seen that you're a professional, you have a lot of experience and great value and knowledge that you're sharing with them. And they're going to feel comfortable saying, yes, I want you as part of my wedding team. And the other thing is, once they are your customer or client, it's a great way to keep that relationship going. So, say you've got your bride is a year and a half out from her wedding. It's really hard to try and keep that relationship on a weekly basis because, what are you going to talk about for 75 weeks? But what you could do is have put them, as soon as they book with you, you could put them into a sequence where, say once a week, they're getting some kind of a tip. Like maybe it's a photo of some work that you've done, or a recipe if you're a caterer, or whatever. So they feel that they're connected with you. They're getting these little value bombs on a weekly basis, and they're excited about their wedding, and they feel that you're excited about their wedding. So that's creating a really great customer relationship and brand affinity. Because if they're seeing you in their messenger box once a week and you're bringing a lot of value, maybe you're making them smile, like maybe you've got a funny little GIF, just to make them laugh that day about wedding planning, they're going to feel that by the time it comes down to their wedding, like you're like an old friend. And people love doing business with people they like, right? So, and then the likelihood, if they have had this great experience all along the planning process, and then they have this amazing experience on their wedding with you, then they're going to be enamored with you and be like, oh my gosh, you have to work with these guys. Like they were just so amazing. They were like totally with me, my entire wedding planning journey. And I just love them. And, that costs nothing. That kind of brand affinity, because the bot's free and you're not having to pay advertising. And once you've got that sequence created, then all of your new customers can go through the same sequence and is autopilot on your behalf.
Mm-hmm. Now, the thing I'm trying to think, you said you could integrate this, I believe, with your website. And it's on Facebook. I mean, are there other social platforms besides Facebook that it could be integrated with?
There are bots on, for example, Slack has a bot, and Skype has a bot, but the most common bot is, through Facebook Messenger. How they get into your bot is there's a whole number of ways. You can do it through a URL. So, for example, I use what's called ManyChat. In ManyChat, there's, I think now 12 different ways that people can get into your bot. So with your website or blog, you can have what they call modals. So that's like those little pop-ups that come up, or you can have a bar at the top or the bottom of your page. You can have a slide in, you can have a page overtake, just like you do for email if you're trying to capture email subscribers. Same thing with the bot. If you're a brick and mortar store, if say you're at a bridal fair, I did this the other day with the bridal fair. There is in your messenger, if you have Messenger on your phone, go into it, and under your profile, you're going to see there's this blue sort of circle with weird kind of designs around with your photo from Facebook in the middle. That is your particular Messenger code. So your chat bot has a code as well. So what you can do is you can actually download that, create a sequence. So when people scan that code, they go right into your chat bot. And you can have that code printed on a sign, on a brochure, on your business card, whatever. That's it. It's that easy. There's no need for anyone to fill out a ballot. There's no need for anyone to fill out a form. And I did this at a bridal fair recently, and we offered this giveaway, to win for weekend for 2 at a hotel, and it was hugely successful. And after the bridal fair was done, I didn't have to fill out ballots. I didn't have to have anything input it. It was already in the bot. And as soon as they got into my bot, I had it set up that they could download a PDF with all the information about having a wedding at that hotel. Easy peasy.
Wow.
So that's a really effective. Yeah. And if so, say if you're a brick and mortar store, it's the same thing. You can have it where they, you know, you can say to your customers, oh, by the way, like get onto our VIP list. And all they have to do is take their phone, go boom, scan the code, and they're in. And people are like, oh my gosh, it's such amazing technology.
My question is, when you're collecting these names from the bridal show, and that I think is great because then everybody gets the PDF that you were talking about that they get. Now, if you're wanting to have a conversation, you know, making a communication more customized, just like you do in an email, can you go and say, I just want to send one message to this one person and like schedule it? Is that how can you schedule it?
Yeah, well, I mean, you can, if you have a list of, you know, maybe 1,000 people or 600 people, is, you know, a little more time consuming because then you'd have to actually go through your audience to find that particular person. But because all the information, like their gender and their full name is in Facebook, you can personalize. Hey, Julie, you know, thanks for subscribing to our bot. If you would like more information, you know, or if you want to set up a time to talk, click here. So they click on that button and you can have it set up so that it'll take them right to a phone number. Or say that you're someone that, you know, sets up appointments. You can have a link where they just click on it and it'll take them to say like your Calendly app or your Fuse Acuity, for example. And then they can just boom, go right in and set up their appointment according to what your calendar is like, and you're done. And then you get the notice that you have an appointment set up with, you know, Julie wants to speak with you at 10:30 on this Thursday. Fantastic. That's all been done through the bot. They didn't have to call to set anything up. There was no emailing back and forth. It's super easy. And of course, especially with, you know, millennial brides, they're so busy. They're, you know, they don't want to wait. They want everything, you know, everything's rush. This is where a bot can be super helpful with your customer service, because you can have your menu. Every bot has like you can have 3 like menus that sit there permanently at the bottom of the screen. And then from those 3, each one of those, you can have 5 sub menus. So if you're a store, you could have your frequently asked questions like our store hours, you know, where's our location? And you can even have it where, you know, it takes them right to your address on Waze or on Google Maps. If you're a photographer, you could have, you know, these are our hours. So if you want to set up an appointment, this is what our package is, and they can have a PDF. So a lot of that back and forth that we typically see as bridal professionals, where, you know, people send in a question and then we have to respond and say, okay, here's our PDF, or here's, you know, our commonly answered questions. By putting that into your bot through your menu, then the brides or grooms can access that 24/7 instantaneously. They don't have to wait until you're in the office. They don't have to wait for you to get back to them, especially if it's a wedding weekend or whatever. And you can free up a lot of your time or your team's time by not having them having to respond over and over again to these frequently asked questions, because that information is in the bot, and, you know, the couples can just access that instantaneously.
Now, as far as the ads, because I'm assuming with the ads, these would be, you know, you're reaching new customers. So how do you create an ad and then add the bot into the ad?
Okay. You can do a few different ways. For example, say you have a post on Facebook. So, you know, maybe you're doing a post about, I don't know, like let's just say that you've got your dress shop, and that you've got the brand new, you know, line has just arrived and you're doing a trunk show. So you can, you know, put that post and then set it up with the bot that, if people make a comment or drop an emoji into the comment section, that they will automatically get put into the bot and have whatever response that you've programmed. So now I actually did this recently. I set up that post, and then I went in and I boosted the post. When you're boosting posts on Facebook, don't just go boost post and let it go, because that literally is Facebook just taking that post and just like throwing it out into the ocean, and wherever it lands, it lands. That's a waste of money. What you want to do is go in when you boost it and pinpoint who your market is. So I did that for a post recently for this raffle giveaway we were doing at the bridal fair. And I ran it for a week. We ended up with 1,200 new likes on Facebook and 653 subscribers into the bot. And it was a $20 spend. Because, yeah. And we had like 49,000, and the 29,000 of that was paid. But this is the beauty about bots, because right now they're so much cheaper than any other form of advertising. So for example, someone was doing a campaign for a luxury resort, and they paid $191 per lead on Google AdWords. It was $79 per lead on Facebook ads, and using the bot through advertising, it was at $6.80. So, I think the most cost effective way is to do the post and then boost it. The other thing you can do as an ad is you can do there's a URL option. And so you could, run a Facebook ad as normal and then put a URL for them to click into, and then they can get into your bot. You can also create a landing page. So when they click on like say the click here, it takes them to a complete separate landing page. So say you're trying to promote something, and it gives them the information, and then they get into the bot. There's also an option with Facebook ads. So if you're creating an ad, there's something called JSON, because now you have the option as Messenger as being where you want the people to end up at the end of the ad, right? So when you're sending through Ad Manager or Power Editor, you would choose Messenger, set it up in your ManyChat and what you want them to land on. And then at the very end, when you're going through and you get to the ad set, Facebook will say, okay, there's like this JSON, JSON. So what you do is you just you cut and paste the JSON from ManyChat or ChatFuel, take out the one that Facebook has, paste in the one that you have, and that's it. And then anyone who clicks on your ad is going to be directly into your chatbot. There's lots of different ways to get them into the bot. It's super easy. Yeah, I mean, if you're doing, ads somewhere else, like I said, you can use the URL. So if you're in an article, say you've been quoted in some magazine or whatever, or a blog, you can have a URL set up that you would have included. And like I've done this with my articles in Huffington Post. It's like when you want to learn more, people click on that and it puts them right into the bot. So I was going to say, they just rolled out a new option as well. You can actually have your chat bot sitting in your blog or your Facebook or your website, and like a chat, like how they do like the live chat. It's the same idea, but it's your chat bot actually living there in your site.
Technology is going lightning fast, and I think that this is just one of those other things of technology that comes along, and then people are like, will they accept it? Will they, learn it? I still remember, well, even some wedding pros now that still don't use email. So it's like, I hate to say that, but there are a few that still don't use email. So I'm sure they won't be using this one, but it will be interesting to see how long it takes for this technology to really catch on even more than it already has.
Statistically, this is where we're headed because
Yeah.
right now there's 1.3 billion people who are in Messenger. And if you look at this, the stats, Messenger is going up, but social media apps are going down. In fact, for 25% of all social media apps that are downloaded are used once, and then people kick them off their phone. So people are starting to get like some social media app like fatigue. The other thing that's really interesting is if you look at the different statistics, the only category of people that are using email more than Messenger are those who are 44 years of age and over. When you look at the age categories from 13 to 24 years of age, email is like this, and then Messenger is like that. Like they barely use email. So this is the direction that things are going. I mean, Messenger is definitely overtaking email.
It was interesting to me that, well, I made an appointment with someone on Facebook, and when the appointment came up, it messaged me that I was supposed to be showing up at this appointment at a certain time, and I didn't even, set it up that way. So it's just interesting to me. I'm like, what? It's telling me to go to my appointment. So, what other interesting things do you think that these bots will be able to do that maybe wouldn't necessarily help business, but would be interesting to know the other applications that could apply?
Well, there's literally new things being rolled out like every week. You're talking about reminding people about an appointment. They can do that. I use the bot when I'm about to do a Facebook Live or a webinar. I'll just do a broadcast out and say, hey, I'm going live in 5, and I'll just give the link to where the webinar is or the Facebook page. And that really helps engagement that because people are like, oh yeah, like you said, like, oh, I'm supposed to be at this appointment now. And the problem with emails, a lot of the times, if people don't see the email, then they've missed it. But with integrations, for example, PayPal is now integrated into Messenger. So you can have, if you're someone who's offering, something for sale, like maybe, you're doing like, I've got beautiful cake cutting knife sets, and they can actually purchase. Say you have a Shopify store, you can integrate the Shopify store into your bot using Zapier, and that way people can see your items right on their bot and then buy them, and they never have to leave the bot. You can do if you want to get your bot subscribers into your email list, like say you're using MailChimp or ActiveCampaign or whatever. With Zapier, you can set it up where you can ask your subscribers for your email. As soon as they put in their email, it is put into your CRM, your customer email program, whatever you're using, even if it's Google Sheets. So you can ask them what their wedding date is and have that directly go into their Google Sheets, their phone numbers, whatever, their birth dates, whatever. So there's like a ton of information you can get and have it automatically put into whatever program or tools that you're using.
My next question would be to you, for someone that has no clue how this works. Where could they kind of get a sample or an idea of how this communication works?
There are a number of businesses that are using chatbots now. I mean, my website has, my blog has it. That's thelazybride.com. There is another program called Poncho. Is actually a weather bot, which sounds really funny, like a weather bot. But they've done an awesome job of creating a character, because that's the other thing, like bots. Think about how do you talk to your friends and family when you're on, say, WhatsApp or you're messaging them. right? You're using emojis, you're using GIFs, you're talking in short little sentences. There's a sense of fun about it. And I think for most brands, this is what a chatbot offers, is that opportunity to have some fun with the communication. You don't have to be so stuffy and serious because, it's a chatbot. So throw in some emojis, throw in some GIFs, have a funny little photo. So, you can have a good time with it. And I think that this Poncho is a little, I don't know if he's a cat or I don't know. He's got a little cartoon character that wears a poncho. And so every day he comes into my messenger, gives me, what the weather forecast is, which is normally wrong, but whatever. I don't care because it's always got a funny little and a joke. Like it's just like he's got a really good sense of humor. Whoever's writing this is just on point. And that's it. So it's just like, that's my little smile for the day. And that's what I try to use with my bot, for example, for like the Lazy Bride, is I created a little character for her, and some guy in Fiverr did a great little cartoon character for me. And like my brand with her, she's a little bit sassy and a little bit snarky, and so that's the voice that I use for her. So the whole idea is that when my readers open it up, they get a smile. They get great information and they get a smile. I always tell everyone, think about a bot as being edutainment. You want to educate them, but also give them something fun, right? Because we're all being bombarded by so many messages in a day, and there's just so much going on. But sometimes we forget to have just a little bit of fun. And I think as a brand or as a business, yes, bots are very technical, but they have an opportunity to be very human. We can show our humanity by, trying to connect with people and having some levity, showing our personality. So it's not like, dear client, thank you so much for inquiring about our services, which can happen with an email. With the bot, it can be like, hey, set it up first names, like, hey, Julie, Poncho here, here's our weather. And it's just automatically you've broken down that barrier because you've got a goofy little GIF going on. So of course it's like, all right, well, these are people, this is a business that has got, they're humans, they're people. There's not just some kind of faceless entity that is just a business. There's people behind this, and they have heart and they have soul and they have a sense of humor, and people want to do business with people they have fun with, right?
Yeah, so where would they find more information about your company?
Okay, well, I have a whole a website just about bots, and it's BusyBots. So it's BIZYBOTS.com. So busybots.com, and there you'll find articles about bots and what's going on, the latest and greatest with them, because seriously, like every week there's something new coming out. And I mean, everyone is saying that, this is where Facebook was when they first came out. So this is the next big thing. And if you have any questions, like drop me a line, go on to my site and email me, or better yet, get into the bot, and you can always send me a message through the messenger, and I'd be more than happy to get back to you as soon as possible.
It's always love learning the latest technology, and as I said, technology it's not stopping. It just keeps on going, new things all the time. So I appreciate you coming on today and joining us with all of this interesting information. So, but everyone, I appreciate you joining us, and next week we have another great guest that will be joining us here on Wedding Market Live. So we'll see you next week. Have a great day. Bye-bye.